Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. We gather to reflect on the frontier of human endeavor, the vast realm of space, and in particular, the unfolding developments from Shenzhou 20 and Tiangong Space Station. What we are witnessing touches not just rockets and astronauts, but human ambition, global competition, risk, responsibility, and the future of exploration. Earlier this week, China's space agency announced that the return of the Shenzhou 20 crewed spacecraft has been postponed. Reuters, originally slated to touch down on November 5, 2025, the mission has been delayed after the spacecraft was suspected to have been struck by a piece of orbital debris. TheGuardian.com, the China Manned Space Agency says that impact analysis and risk assessment are underway, and that the decision was taken to ensure the safety of the astronauts and the success of the mission. Xinhua News. The three astronauts aboard Shenzhou 20, Commander Chen Dong, pilot Chen Zhongrui, and engineer Wang Jie, had been in orbit since April, conducting experiments, performing spacewalks, operating aboard Tiangong. Their relief crew, on Shenzhou 21, has already arrived. Reuters. The event highlights multiple dimensions of spaceflight today: the promise of progress, the vulnerability of systems, the inevitability of risk, and the imperative of global awareness. 1. The promise of space exploration. Space has always been about more than satellites and rockets. It's about pushing human boundaries, scientific, technological, and psychological. China's space program has made striking advances. A third generation of Chinese astronauts, the youngest ever at 32, docking in record time and conducting orbital experiments with animals, medicine, and material science. AP News. Tiangong is now a continuously manned platform, a hub of activity and ambition. The Shenzhou 20 mission is part of this trajectory. The crew has carried out extravehicular activities, EVAs, maintained the station, assisted the arrival of Shenzhou 21, and expanded China's operational experience in long-duration spaceflight. These steps are not incremental. They are foundational for China's goal of a human lunar mission by 2030. Wikipedia. 2. The vulnerability of space systems. Yet space is unforgiving. Every mission contains not just hope, but latent risk. The suspected strike by orbital debris on the Shenzhou 20 return vehicle underscores how small causes can generate large consequences. Orbital debris, micrometer fragments, spent rocket stages, defunct satellites, travel at extreme velocities, and even a tiny piece can compromise critical systems. Die Welt. That a spacecraft actively docked at Earth orbit and headed for landing might be sidelined by debris reminds us. Technical maturity is essential, but cannot eliminate all risk. It also spotlights the increasing congestion of near-Earth space and the need for better debris management, tracking, and mitigation. 3. Risk, contingency, and human strategy. The postponement of the return mission will impact scheduling, logistics, and resource usage aboard Tiangong. Keeping a crew longer than planned was once extraordinary. Now it becomes part of operational management. The statement from China highlights that mission success includes astronaut safety above all. Xinhua News. It also triggers backup plans, perhaps involving the Shenzhou 22 spacecraft and backup launch vehicle systems. TheGuardian.com. This is a hallmark of mature space operations. People fall back on contingency, emphasize human safety, and pause rather than rush. That shift, from a race to land quickly to a sustained infrastructure mindset, is one of the changes in 21st century space. 4. Global implications and competition. China's program doesn't operate in a vacuum. The United States, Russia, Europe, India, and private firms all watch and engage. China's station, Tiangong, is independent of the International Space Station, ISS, due to U.S. policy, yet it moves ahead with docking, science, astronaut training, and policy narratives. TheGuardian.com. The fact that China's mission experienced a debuff not because of system failure, but because of debris risk, resonates globally. All spacefaring nations must contend with orbital safety. This moment is also about strategic posture. Space offers prestige, technological spin-off, national branding, and controls on Earth. When things do not go to plan, scrutiny increases. For China, postponing a landing is less about failure and more about signaling mature decision-making. For the world, it emphasizes how fragile space operations remain. 5. The future of human spaceflight. What does the Shenzhou 20 delay teach us about where human spaceflight is heading? Duration will increase. 6-month missions may become routine. Multi-year missions may follow. Infrastructure will diversify. China's station, commercial stations, lunar gateways, all may exist concurrently. Risk management becomes part of the daily culture. Not just launch and land, but monitor, mitigate, adjust. Space traffic and debris mitigation become central operational constraints. International cooperation may shift. China may open Tiangong to other nations, integrate science globally, or extend its model beyond low Earth orbit. 6. A human dimension. Let us not forget, 3 people orbiting Earth right now, Chen Dong, Chen Zhongrui, Wang Jie, are beyond schedule expecting to return. Their families, their ground teams, their national systems will experience pause. This reminds us, spaceflight is not abstract, it is intensely personal. The tagline matter of postponed return masks human nights, logistical shifts, and the strength of individuals preparing for an unscheduled day of landing. Their resilience, patience, and training become our silent inspiration. 7. A call to responsible space stewardship. Finally, we must see this moment as a broader call to steward near-Earth space responsibly. The debris environment is deteriorating. The orbits used by humans and satellites risk degradation unless nations cooperate. The rightful next frontier isn't just the Moon or Mars, it's the safe, sustained use of low Earth orbit and beyond. As we push into the next era, robotics, deep space, lunar bases, Mars missions, we must build not only rockets, but frameworks, debris tracking, shared norms, reusable systems, governance. In conclusion, the delay of Shenzhou 20's return is more than a schedule change. It's a reflection of the age we are in, one where space is more accessible, more crowded, more operationally complex, and more human. We must marvel at the progress, and remain humble in the face of risk. China's space station, astronauts, and evolving program are advancing human exploration. Yet this incident reminds us, even when we reach the heavens, earthly dangers remain. The question isn't whether we shall go further, but whether we shall go wiser. Thank you, and may we all keep our eyes on the stars, and our feet grounded in responsibility.